Good Thursday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversations Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, it's a brand new month, so welcome to July. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Thursday. We have the truth of the day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and in today's entertainment spotlight, you're being part of my conversation with psychotherapist and author Linda Appleman Shapiro. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Thursday headlines. In national news, Bill Cosby freed from prison, his conviction overturned. Pennsylvania's highest court threw out Bill Cosby's sexual assault conviction and released him from prison Wednesday in a stunning reversal of fortune for the comedian once known as America's Dad, ruling that the prosecutor who brought the case was bound by his predecessor's agreement not to charge Cosby. Cosby, 83, flashed the V for Victory sign to a helicopter overhead as he trudged into his suburban Philadelphia home after serving nearly 3 years of a 3 to 10 year sentence for drugging and violating Temple University sports administrator Andrea Kunstad in 2004. The former Cosby Show star, the first celebrity tried and convicted in the Me Too era, had no immediate comment. Cosby was arrested in 2015 when a district attorney armed with newly unsealed evidence, the comic's damaging deposition in a lawsuit brought by Kunstad, filed charges against him just days before the 12-year statute of limitations was about to run out. But the Pennsylvania Supreme Court said Wednesday that the district attorney who made the decision to arrest Cosby was obligated to stand by his predecessor's promise not to charge Cosby, though there was no evidence that agreement was ever put in writing. The justice writing for a split court said Cosby had relied on the previous DA's decision not to charge him when the comedian gave his potentially incriminating testimony in Kunstad's civil case. The court called Cosby's subsequent arrest an affront to fundamental fairness, particularly when it results in a criminal prosecution that was foregone for more than a decade. It said justice and fair play and decency require that the district attorney's office stand by the decision of the previous DA. In more national news, Donald Rumsfeld, a cunning leader, dies at 88. Regarded by former colleagues as equally smart and combative, patriotic, and politically cunning, Rumsfeld had a storied career in government under 4 presidents and nearly a quarter century in corporate America. After retiring in 2008, he headed the Rumsfeld Foundation to promote public service and to work with charities that provide services and support for military families and wounded veterans. The two-time defense secretary and one-time presidential candidate died on Tuesday at 88 years old. Rummy, as he was often called, was ambitious, witty, engaging, and capable of great personal warmth, but he irritated many with his confrontational style. An accomplished wrestler in college, Rumsfeld relished verbal sparring and elevated it to an art form. A biting humor was a favorite weapon. In more national news, new ramp will allow use of heavy equipment at collapsed site. Crews searching for survivors in the ruins of a collapsed Florida condo tower have built a ramp that should allow the use of heavier equipment, potentially accelerating the removal of concrete that could lead to incredibly good news events, the state marshal said on Wednesday. Since the sudden collapse of the 12-story towers south last week in Surfside, rescuers have been working to peel back layers of concrete on the pancake building without disturbing the unstable pile of debris. The Miami-Dade assistant fire chief told family members of those missing on Wednesday that a ramp built until the pile overnight allowed rescuers to use a crane on sections that were not previously accessible. He said that imposes the chances of finding new pockets of space in the urgent search for survivors. 4 more bodies were found Tuesday night, raising the death toll in the disaster to 16 people. In addition to the 4 bodies, crews also found human remains. In business news, U.S. home contract signings see big rebound in May. More Americans signed contracts to buy homes in May, a surprising rebound after months of cooling in the housing market where lack of inventory has pushed prices to record levels. The National Association of Realtors Index of pending home sales rose 8% to 115 in last month, the highest reading for May since 2005. That's up from 106 in April. An index of 100 is equal to the level of contract activity in 2001. Contract signings, considered a barometer of purchases that will take place in the next 1 to 2 months, are 13% ahead of where they were 1 year ago with the country in the throes of the coronavirus outbreak. And finally, in entertainment news, America's Got Talent tops TV Nielsen ratings. Competition at athletic venues dominated the agenda for television viewers last week, but none was as popular as a competition on stage. America's Got Talent, which is well established as TV's favorite live show of the summer, reached 7 million viewers last week, with auditions for its 16th season on NBC, the Nielsen company said on Wednesday. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, take it away.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Service to others is a beautiful thing. First, like any other spiritual principle, in order to give to others, you must be able to give to yourself. The more you give to yourself, the more you have to give to the other people in your life. Your world reflects the relationship you have with yourself. When you have a fulfilling relationship with yourself, you can serve others from a place of wholeness and purpose. Fill yourself with peace, joy, and fulfillment. Now you are better able to serve others with empathy and compassion. You are able to give from your heart as your sense of fulfillment grows. Today, develop your own sense of joy, purpose, and fulfillment so you can become better able to serve others. And always enjoy your day.
Author Linda Appleman Shapiro speaks in today's Entertainment Spotlight right here on Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Author Linda Appleman Shapiro joined me recently on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about the success of her book, She's Not Herself, and the new audiobook that's available now. Here's a bit of our conversation.
First of all, how does it feel now to have the words that you wrote now being read for the world to enjoy?
Well, what's most important is that I'm reading the words. In other words, I'm narrating my own book. And I never, although that was always a dream in my head, I didn't expect it to ever come to fruition. I hoped that it would. I'm certainly not, a trained actress, although I do give many lectures and I do talk a lot. In more ways than one, but just knowing that I am actually reading my own memoir is extremely rewarding and exciting, and I learned a lot about myself and my family from reading it aloud that I didn't know as I was writing it. It's just a phenomenal experience.
Well, I have to say this, and you were asking me literally right before we went on if I had a chance to hear it, and I have to be honest, I'm not an audiobook guy. I love to actually read the books. I can't focus very well with audiobooks, so I have never bought an audiobook in my life, Linda, but I love actually being able to read words, so it's interesting hearing you talk about what it was like for you to read your own words. So let's go back then. Could you have imagined when you first released the book, She's Not Herself, that you would still be not only sharing your mother's journey in life, but also your own?
Well, actually, what I set out to do was to show that it's possible to interrupt intergenerational trauma. And by that I mean the trauma began way back with my great-grandmother, my grandmother, my mother, myself, and God knows probably my children as well.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll be back with you guys on tomorrow to wrap up this week. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make today amazing. Take care.